A little bit about how you can possibly set up some of these sighting things. Sometimes it's a little disarming if you have not a lot of experience in this. So let me help just a little bit. The basic idea is by extending your arm straight out and using a brush or a pencil, you can line it up so that you see something like that as a unit. Now, by that I mean the base of your eraser might be here and you might be putting your thumb right about here where your pencil is, so your arm's straight out. This represents the pencil from the eraser. Maybe the tip goes out here, but you put your thumb right here because this is what we're going to use for one unit. It's all in relationship to everything else. And you can see that this is pretty much what this particular individual has done. There's a unit 1 right up there. Now these are right off of the lesson page, so they should be familiar to you. This is unit 1, and he's labeled that, or she, and that's a good thing. Now then, when you take this as a 1 unit, then you take that same pencil, that same line as it was, and if you took that line, if you were able to say just move it, you would see that this jar, for example, is about half the distance up from here to here. And so he has labeled the jar in this instance as 1/2. Let me remove that line so you can see what I'm talking about. See, he has a 1/2 here. And then if you take that same line and put it back here again, and I believe it would be about right here, you'll notice that the size of this little cylinder is about 1/4. So anyway, that's kind of the way you do it. Now the thing to remember is arm has to be straight out. You're holding that pencil so that you line the tip of it at an object here, say, and here, and you've already sort of measured from here to here. So by moving the pen from here to here, your hand's going back and forth like that. I don't know if you can see it. Let me change to this cursor. So you're holding up right here with the eraser, and you've got basically you've measured and kind of held it so that you can put a dent right here, and you're saying, aha, that's 1 unit. And this is, if I move that unit over here, line the pencil or paintbrush or whatever you're using to sight this way, I can see that that's about 1/2 of this unit, and I can see this is about 1/4, and so on and so on and so on. Okay, so that's the way you sight. Let's see if I can find another one. This shows it a lot clearer, doesn't it? Again, basic unit for some reason was along this angle. I don't think I would have chosen that, mainly because, oh, I don't know, it just seems like it's a little, I don't know, a little awkward. I usually go for a small unit as my basic unit, and then I can avoid fractions. What does that tell you about my education, right? So what I would do probably here would be setting up this, or this is my basic unit. Well, it looks like that's what they've done there, right? Okay, sorry, I apologize, whoever did this. This is my basic unit from here to here, so I'm lining up whatever I'm using, like my pencil eraser here, and I put my finger on the pencil about there, so I say that's my basic unit, and then I can see by using that same thing that I've marked off, this would be also a basic unit, and lo and behold, that would also be a basic unit, and then you can go ahead and say, well, this is 3 basic units, and you see they put that in right here. And when you do this drawing, do go ahead and label it if you would please. This isn't so much about the correct anything other than understanding what proportions are, okay? So I don't care if your angles exactly are right. I don't care if there's any shading at all. I just want to see that you're getting the idea of the proportions on this. And here's another one, and this is very neatly done with lots of straight edges, as you can see. Basic unit is the height of this cube, and then they can see, this is a great point on perspective. You can see that this edge, even though it's a cube, and probably in actuality they're all the same in appearance, this is 3/4 the length of this, so that's an interesting observation that this particular person put in there. Anyway, measure these, hold your arm straight out, and the reason there is pretty obvious. I think it's because your arm isn't going to grow that much from one sighting to another. Anyway, just to help you a little bit, hope this does, and look forward to seeing your assessments on this. Thanks.